And here we are. We're live, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Messy Monday. And we are very few today because I think a whole lot of people are on vacation. That includes Fazoom. He is on vacation at the beach. He was texting pictures of the beach to us today. And Dana had some sort of work crisis come up. But in the chat, Gary Mullane, hello. You are our most regular guest, I think. You're always there in the chat, so we salute you for your attendance.
Yes.
And we have Bricking Up Brad joining us this evening.
Hello.
And he's kind of, I think Brian is in danger of losing his position as the Young Castle correspondent on the show.
I mean, it depends. Depends what you want to know, castle-wise. I'm not people. Something I've noticed recently is because I post a lot of castle content on social media. People are like, "Well, you must be an expert on all things castle," and I'm like, "Not yet," because I'm like, every video I put out is me researching a different era. So I don't want to say I'm a complete castle expert yet, but I know more than most. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I don't know if Brian is complete on castle stuff, but I do know he has an awful lot of it. But unfortunately, he's not with us very often. So
yeah, he got a new job that he works a lot of evenings, and so he's rarely able to hop on. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Darn work getting in the way of your Lego.
True.
Over in the chat, hello, Brian Anderson. Welcome. So what you got there, Brad? What are you working on?
So I'll give you guys context here. So this is what used to be my medieval town. So now I'm going through, because I'm going to Brick Fair, Virginia, and said I was bringing this, trying to figure out what's still usable and what's not. I'm just going to make into plates of soldiers. But so this is my medieval church that I built a little bit ago. And I'm just trying to find the last few roof parts so that'll be fully complete again. So that's what I got right now, at least.
Very good.
Think about, I got anything else around me? Not really.
Yeah, well, I mean, Messy Monday is kind of a no-topic show where we just sort of hang out and blab. And so if you find something relevant to yak about, feel free to hold it up and just wave it around. And I believe Mr. Matthew is biting his parts right now.
Caught me not using a brick separator.
Shame.
So, for those of you
Isn't that punishable?
Yes, it is. For those of you who aren't regulars, I have a different screen name every single time, and sometimes it's a challenge to come up with a new name. But so my screen name today, "Bro, Can You Spare a Lobe?" is a reference to the fact that I have been working on the Starry Night set.
Ooh.
And it is almost done. Let's not.
I almost made it not done.
I have to say that I really enjoyed building the set, partly just because it's a lot of different techniques than I've ever done before. So there's a lot of layering. One of the things that I think is not necessarily obvious from the photos is just dimensional it is. So the village really sticks out, and studs. It studs up and then it mounts to the back in the plate. And so there's a lot of like three-dimensional things are sticking out from the background. If it were just a flat picture, it probably would not be near the fun. And it's echoing the fact that, of course, in Van Gogh's painting, that's a very three-dimensional. The paint is very thick and it's sticking. It kind of is an echo of that. So I've really enjoyed it. It's made me consider going back to a project that I kicked around for a while, which is doing a pointillism reconstruction where I use a lot of the dots and sort of layer that. The picture that I was interested in doing is the one that's in the Ferris Bueller's where they're standing in the Chicago Institute of Art, and It's the Afternoon at the Beach. I don't remember how to say it in French, but it's that painting. The true original painting is enormous, like wall sized, and I've kicked around. Yeah.
Are you mean Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Jatte?
That one, yes, thank you.
Okay, that's the one that Cameron stares at in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's that painting.
That's the one. If I obviously, it's huge. I think the actual painting is something by like 8 foot by 5 foot or something. It's very large. I could not. Well, I've joked that if we were finished the basement, I'm going to do a life-size version of it on the wall, but we're not close to finishing the basement. So, but I might try to do something, like that at this scale, especially if I bought a second copy of the set and used the frame pieces. And so it's been fun to use some different techniques, and it's been fun to just see how 3-dimensional it is. And I would actually put this. I think we should probably do another show where we do like our top 5, top 10 favorite builds of all time. I would put this in my top 10. It's just different from any other Lego set I've ever built before, and so I'm a fan. I recommend it. It's got great parts. If you want to buy it just for the parts pack, it comes with a minifig of Vincent Van Gogh. I sold mine because they're going for $30 a pop. So the set is $130. So I sold the minifig for $30. I sold the gift with purchase for $40. So I got the painting for $60. So if you're looking
Which
to
GWP did you get with it?
The one before, not the current one was been Harry Potter, but the one that was the 90th anniversary. So if you spent, I think 160, you got the GWP.
150.
150. So I bought that set in like a battle pack or something. And I hit the 150. So I've I had 5 of them, and I've sold all of them.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because I'm that way. I look for the GWPs that I think I can flip, and I already sold my Harry Potter one for $50. So
that one's crazy expensive. Like 175 for that. I mean, it's easy mark to hit, but I think it's not worth it.
I mean, I went and bought another one of the 12 Grimwald set and something else, and in the 12 Grimwald, I sold the minifigs for $85. So,
wow.
Sell the minifigs, sell the GWP, basically the bricks for the set for $20-$30. Like that's how I make my Lego dollar stretch. So if I don't care about the minifigs, I'll flip them, and I always try to time it either with a GWP that I think I can make a decent amount of money on.
Yeah,
and I'm very strategic about. But if you're gonna flip the figs, you want to do it in the first month the set comes out because the prices will drop. So you'll get people who
really?
The first month they just have to have the figures and they'll pay the highest price to get them. The longer the figures are out there, the more the price goes. So the time strike while the iron's hot if you want to flip your figs. That's what I've learned. But the other thing that I've got going on is I had bought a extra Home Alone set. Thinking I would do it for the nice brown, chocolatey.
Nice.
And it comes with 143, which is a good amount in the set. It also comes with a lot of white 2x2 windows, which are also, this is a good quantity. I think there's like 72 or something. There's a good amount. And so I bought one. Damaged box one at the local store, and I thought about I would flip the minifigs and just keep the rest of it for parts. But then I looked and I found a Bricklink store that actually had these not too expensive, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna keep the set sealed and put it in my Bricklink store, and I'm just gonna go out and buy. I think this is like 200 of the bricks. And so
nice!
I got 200 of the bricks for. There was East, so they weren't cheap, but it was like $35 for 200 bricks, which is way more cost effective than buying a $225 set. So it was it made more sense to just buy the bricks. And while I was buying from the store, I got a few other washed out here. Let's turn them. There we go. I got some of the those white energy effects, which you can use for chimney smoke, and then these like curved triangle shaped wedge pieces. And another one that was, and I wasn't going to buy the set, but I splurged for the Minions minifig. I thought it was just fun, and it was like $2-3. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll spend $3 for the Minions guy. I'll stick him in. He's the kind of thing that at shows I like to stick minifigs in windows in my buildings and just see which kids will be like, oh, there's an ET in there, or look, there's Yoda or R2D2 inside that building, because some of the kids will notice. They're walking around, they'll look through the window.
No, it's very true.
They'll see that. And then I got this plate, which looks like it's kind of Friends-ish, but I don't remember or maybe it's an amusement park thing, but I just thought it was a nice little, and it was like 50 cents or something. So, and I didn't have one of them. So that was in today's mailbag.
Very cool. Very cool. I had kind of I bought a lot of Lego sets this week. Now that I'm the past week, since there was the Prime Day sale, I got a Jurassic World Baryonyx set for Small Paul, and I bought the first Iron Man Hall of Armors for a friend of mine's son that I'm traveling to visit my buddy this weekend, and I'll give that to his son as a gift. And then we went to the Lego store this weekend, and I got the small Disney castle.
Nice.
I do like Cinderella Castle an awful lot, but I do not have enough room, and nor do I wish to spend the amount for the large one. So I thought the small one is good enough for me. I'll go with this one. And I also, at the Lego store, they had the Speed Champion set on Scratch and Dent, so I got a little bit of a discount on this one.
Nice.
Because I do really like the Ford GT in the Gulf livery, and I don't care about the truck, but whatever. And
is that what you call it? You call it a livery?
Yeah, the Gulf. You call it livery when it's a specific racing team's colors, and stripes and things. Although it doesn't have the Gulf emblem on it, that's what this paint scheme is, because the Ford GT that used to race back in the 60s, Gulf Petroleum was a sponsor, and this was their livery, was this sort of turquoise and orange and that sort of thing.
Did not know that.
So I got those, and then yesterday I found out that this set was on clearance at Target for 50% off.
Oh, nice.
I know that Small Paul wanted this one because he wants this big celestial, the big celestial figure. He wanted this just for the figure.
It almost reminds me of a Bionicle, honestly.
It does look vaguely bionically. But yeah, Small Paul just wants it for the big
big bad
dude. And I don't know if the Eternals will. I don't know if they'll ever be worth anything, because the movie was kind of didn't go over that well with everybody. So I don't really. I mean, I suppose there's probably minifigure collectors out there that eventually might want to buy those figures.
Well, the Eternals are coming back in other movies, so I'm guessing at some point you'll be able to they'll want those figures. So
there's 2 figures in there that sell for $8, because I already listed. There's 2 of them for $8, and the rest are like $1, $2 figures.
So, and I also got the Monkey Kid Galactic Explorer spaceship.
I bought that a long time ago, and I'm regretting I didn't wait for it to be the Scratch and Dent.
Well, it's actually just 20% off right now at the Lego store. Just they had it, and I bought it last week when they were running the double VIP points. So I got this with double VIP, and because I've been doing the Monkey Kid stuff this year quite a lot, so It's a really hefty set. It's very sturdy, very well built, and it has the really cool part where you roll this thing over, and it's got the rover tucked inside of it right there. So you open up the
rover
little thing, the little
roll your rocket over.
That's their little rover that tucks in there. That's really cool. And you pop the top off like that. There's some of the little figures. They all have a place to sit. And I got Monkey Kid in the front. So
Nice.
it's a fun set. And then it comes with a couple of the evil macaque monkey minions.
Excellent.
With little dudes. And it comes with a little launch gantry thing with the little bridge thing that folds. I do think it's really fun that the Octan Corporation is, they have it in Chinese there on the fuel tank. It's pretty fun.
Cool.
So I've done a lot of Lego stuff, or at least I've purchased a lot of Lego this week. And built a couple things. And also I got Small Paul the Luigi's Mansion entryway set, which is upstairs.
Nice.
Because we built that. We did a live on TikTok on Saturday and built that together. And so he's got that upstairs. He's been playing with it. And it's fun. It has a neat little mechanism on it where there's one of the splat gears that you turn and it opens the doors on the doorway. So that's pretty
nice. Fun. It's a pretty decent set, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's a big fan of Luigi's Mansion, so he was excited. And the large Luigi's Mansion set probably will be on his Christmas list because it has King Boo and a bunch of other characters in it that he's excited about. So
I bought something too this week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so if you look at my background here, I have the Skeleton Fortress, Troll's Fortress, and King's Fortress, and I finally got the Dwarf Fortress / mine to go up there and replace the Dragonite one up there on the far left. So got to build that later. I was going to build that today, and I was like, I probably should be working on this mock.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So I wanted to catch up on the chat. We've got Axel Plate, we got Andrew Sada, and we even have the Zoom looking in on us here. Jesse's Brick Galaxy. Hello to everybody in the chats. The Lion Guardian set. It was on sale on Prime Day on Amazon. I already had that set, so I did not get one, but it's a pretty cool set. The lion is really neat. He's got a little mechanism that a switch on his back that makes his mouth open and close. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
So yeah, bunch of Lego stuff this week for me. I don't usually buy this much Lego in 1 week.
Yeah,
that's the hard. Oh, sorry. Go on.
For me, I time my stuff to take advantage of the GWPs, and so I bought a bunch of stuff that I had been waiting on when the 90th anniversary thing, and then this week with the Harry Potter GWP, which I think that I expected the Harry Potter to go for a lot on the secondary market. So I walked into the store planning to buy a Grimwald set, and they didn't have any. So I bought the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, and then one other set to qualify for one of those, which I already sold Bricklink, and then I bought another Harry Potter. I bought another 12 Grimwald off the website so that I got another $50 GW flip. That hasn't arrived yet, but so I bought a bunch of Harry Potter. I don't even like Harry Potter. I love the bricks. That's why I have no trouble flipping the figs from the Harry Potter sets. The new Ministry of Magic has that masonry brick in dark green, which I think is the very first time we've ever gotten in dark green. And so I'm gonna sell the minifigs. I'm gonna sell the gift, and I'm gonna get my hands on some dark green masonry brick, which probably will show up in next year's Bug Bulk, and I'll be like, well, I didn't need to buy the set just to get the brick, but gosh darn it, I might need him between now and Bulk Lug 2023.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to need to build with it.
I might need him for my Botanical Galaxy Explorer.
Mm.
Yeah, Axel Plate says there were more Eternal sets than there were Doctor Strange 2 sets. I think that they were I think they were hoping Eternals was going to be much better than it was, and it kind of turned out to be a very beautifully filmed yet boring movie.
That is a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
They may have also been hoping that because the cast has people from ethnicities from all the continents that are inhabited by human, that have a international draw. People want to buy pigs or something, but yeah, I think the story just wasn't that great. So
Yeah, I mean, I think they should have made that into a series on, Disney Plus, because there were so many characters. It needed more time to get to know. They could have done an episode for each character's backstory and built up to the larger story, and it would have,
honestly,
been better that way.
Yeah, and there's so many adventures that they could have had. I mean, like, they're all the ages. So, you do a season on Disney Plus and then you have them come into the rest of the, group when you want them. And then another season, I don't know. Like there's plenty that they could have done. And I agree. Yeah, probably a Disney Plus show would have been better than a movie.
yeah, I agree. I mean, because they could have gone back and had like 2 episodes in different times in history where they show them working as a team, and then I don't remember, in the movie it was something like they hadn't reassembled as a team in hundreds of years or something like that. So they could have given us that way backstory. Then they could have given us the backstory for each individual character. I'm curious to see if we'll get another Miss Marvel, because we had one Miss Marvel figure, which I sold. I bought that set, flipped the figs a while ago. I didn't even know who Miss Marvel was because she wasn't in comics when I was a teenager and reading comic books. But having watched the series, I absolutely love the series, and it was, I don't know, it was a big hit at our house. I have a close personal friend who's from Mumbai, India, and her brother lives here, and her parents have come to visit multiple times. And the interaction between the daughter and the parents, it was very spot on to how I see my friend interact with her brother and with her parents. It's just this very sort of doting relationship, and they have like pet names for each other. And just like there's, Catholic mother guilt and Jewish mother guilt, there's definitely Indian, Pakistani mother guilt trips. It's the whole mother-daughter dynamic, nailed it. So I thought the writing was very true to that subculture, and I thought it was very impressive, actually.
I actually gotten past the first 2 episodes. I tried watching it and I just cannot and I don't think it's a bad thing if a show just doesn't connect with you. I mean, there's so many out there. I just I was trying to watch and I was just just wasn't for me. But I can see why people would enjoy it though, for sure.
I don't care for Harry Potter. Lots of millions of people love Harry Potter. It doesn't bother me that I don't connect with it. I like the sets. I like the bricks, but I don't care for the movies. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I am sure that we will get another figure because there's going to be the movie next year called The Marvels, and it's going to have
good point.
Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and also Monica Rambeau as Photon will also be in it. So they will probably all get minifigures whenever that movie comes out, I'm sure. So hello, Multigasm Geek, over there in the chat. But yeah, I'm sure they will all get minifigures.
I wonder if there'll be another Marvel CMF series again, and that will just kind of be where those characters come in. Because that's kind of what they did for the last kind of big wave, which I was sad that we haven't gotten one with Hawkeye in it yet, because I really enjoyed that show. So I do wonder if that's just something on their list of something they're going to do, or if that's just just decide not to do it yet.
I will say that minifigs sell sets, and if I were Lego, I would not want to do another series unless it was. I mean, a bunch of those figs were from the What If series, which were really character focused, where you had like one or two characters that were in this alternate reality where you have Captain Britain, for example, instead of Captain America. And I think it made sense in particular for the What If series. But I think if you've got movies coming out, you probably can sell sets by including the minifigs, and people just have to have Miss Marvel, or they just have to have, whatever character, and it's in a $20 set or a $30 set or a $50 set. And if I were a marketing person, I would not want, from working for Lego, I would not want to do another collectible minifigure line just for sales reasons.
Makes sense. I mean, I know I'm going to get some flack for this. Personally, I think the Lego Marvel line is just awful. Like Lego, I mean, it's gotten better more recently, but in my opinion, one of the most overhyped Lego lines that they've done more recently. Like it's not great sets when they do it tend to be. I mean, yeah, more recently we got in the Guardianship, we got the Daily Bugle, we got the Doctor Strange set, and there's some other good ones out there, but a lot of them are just these like kind of crappy builds that sometimes have nothing to do with the movie. And I get it's just for the figures too a lot of times, but yeah, in my personal opinion, I have such a hard time with the Marvel line because I'm like, it just feels like so much wasted opportunity a lot of times. Like,
well, usually they don't know the plot of the movie, so they get still pictures from the licensee, and they get told, "Oh, there's this ship," or "Oh, there's this boat," and here's a picture of it, and guess what? It's going to hit the market in a year and a half. You got to roll out a set. So they often are put in a bad position. Now they can go back and make sets. Like you often see this with Star Wars, where a movie comes out and the sets are kind of like, well, that ship wasn't even in the movie. For example, they cut out, Ray's the quad jump thing, like had 5 seconds of screen time. Do a picture of it and like, oh, here's this other ship. No, oh, it blew it up. Okay, we're gonna go to the Falcon. So I will defend Lego in the sense that they rarely know the plot. They rarely know what's going to be the key scenes in movies. And that's partly on Marvel, because Marvel wants to keep stuff secret. And so they keep a lid on stuff.
It's also worth mentioning that some of the Marvel sets are related to comic book things that not necessarily movies. Like all of the mechs that have all the superhero mechs. That's all based on comic book stuff, because evidently there was a comic book kind of story where Tony Stark made armor suits for all the heroes to fight whatever,
No,
and stuff like that.
I used to work at a Lego store, so I know kids love the mechs, but they're not. I mean, compared to what I had growing up of Exo Force, even Ninjago does their mechs better than Marvel many times. Like, it's a little bit sad when I see those mechs and how easily they fall, especially the newer ones. I've heard they just fall apart. But no, I do know. Like, I've seen the process that Lego has to go through to make these sets, but still, it just, I would rather get a CMF line at this point than be like, all right, that way I can pick this figure out I like. Or rather than being like, all right, we got these $40-$50 sets that say they're supposed to do with this movie. I mean, someone made a great point in the chat about the Spider-Man sets. There was a couple of Spider-Man sets that said, this is a kind of based off this movie, and he's just kind of like a character, and that was about it. So,
Spider-Man is basically just the Spider-Man sets. It's one of those things where it's like he is Marvel's most popular character, and once you have Spider-Man, you've got the hero, and he doesn't travel in a vehicle, but kids like to play with vehicles, so therefore we have the Spider Jet and the Spider Buggy and the Spider this and the Spider that, and it's been like that. They've marketed Spider-Man vehicles since I was a small child because of just slap the branding on something and sell it, and that's kind of it's just one of those things.
We've also seen that with the Hobbit sets. If you wanted to get all the dwarves, you had to buy 5 sets to get the dwarves in the series. And some of the sets, because I was a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings sets, I thought they were great. I bought the whole series, and when the Hobbit came out, I was like, I'm going to buy all these. And then some of them were like great scenes from the movie, but some of them were also like the Dol Guldur, that was like in the deleted scenes. If you went to the theatrical release, you never even saw that unless you bought the extended edition DVD set and you caught up on what got cut out of the film. So yeah, it's a little hit or miss sometimes.
That's true, but I can defend Lord of the Rings a little bit, because Lord of the Rings, it's like great scenery. It's like, there are these massive scenes that are just iconic. It's that type of movie. Whereas, let's be honest, a lot of these superhero movies, like the scenes that they have are like, oh, he's on top of a rooftop fighting someone. So Lord of the Rings, I can understand a little bit more. And no, I agree with you though. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, even Star Wars. Sometimes we have just out of context scenes, but yeah, no, it's definitely hit or miss.
Yeah, I think I don't recall the context, but the other day it was something that a discussion brought up the Lone Ranger Lego sets. There was a Stagecoach set, even though they didn't really do anything with a stagecoach in the movie, but there was one in the background of a scene, and so there was a Lego set, just because it's something else that they could sell, just as a thing that you could make out of Lego. It's kind of like having a vehicle for
the West.
It's a vehicle for the West, because vehicles always play test well, which that's why you almost always end up with vehicles in sets that might have characters that don't actually use the vehicle at all or something.
And I will say that I bought the entire Lone Ranger series. It's a series of great sets, and
I love that series.
The train is a great train. It's the only train I've ever put together and built in my house, because I'm not really a train person, but I loved the locomotive and I liked the bank in that series. And I thought it was a great, as Lego said, it was a great series. I remember I was a store employee right about the time the movie came out, because when I started working, they had the display. And I just looked at that and I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy that whole thing. These are great sets.
So, well, sort of, Moto, because if you remember, the CMF line had a lot of characters from the Disney Plus series, because you had like a lot of the What If characters. You had the Loki. You had one of the figures I really wanted was the white version of Vision. So yeah, I mean, it depends.
Is it seems to be off limits to making sets out of, but for some reason it's perfectly fine for a CMF line here or there.
Yeah, I don't really know what criteria they might have had as far as all the Disney Plus series, because from what I understand, all of these Disney Plus series were all filmed kind of around the same time, in the same chunk of time. Like all of those series were filmed all at the same time, and it may not have been organized enough to push out full-fledged sets.
Sure.
All of that marketing stuff is really unknown. And someone brought up in the chat about Axel Plate said, do both Marvel and Sony have to agree when it comes to licensing Spider-Man sets from the movies?
He's probably right.
I would assume that some agreement was come to over the licensing of the No Way Home sets, or the Far From Home sets, or the Homecoming sets, because those specifically have to do with the movies that Sony has a say in. But the Spider-Man sets that were just, all the weird Spider-Man vehicles and things, those only have to come from Marvel, because those they can say are based on the comics and not the movie properties. There's weird little licensing sort of niches in there, you know, all that stuff.
Lawyers involved.
Yeah, lots of lawyer stuff.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the Hydra Stomper was a what if set. There was also the Iron Man Sakaar armor was a what if set, and supposedly that episode got pushed into the second season of What If. So we haven't even seen that episode yet.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, because you see him in part of the show, but yeah, they never fully did the episode.
The episode is supposedly going to be what if Tony Stark ended up on Sakaar instead of Hulk or Thor.
I would say at the UCS level, Marvel sets are great. I'm very much I pick my spots with most of the Marvel stuff. It's not an automatic buy for me at all. But I bought the Daily Bugle, which I liked, and I sold all the minifigs because I wanted the building for my modular layout. And I also had the UCS Helicarrier, which I thought was a great set. It's been a while, and it's kind of funny. Like, I never hear anyone talk about the Helicarrier set, but I think it was a great set that Marvel came out with. So, I mean, I think when they go big, they're pretty good. But yes, some of these sets are kind of rinky dinky. I agree. They're just basically glorified battle pack figure packs. The one that came out with the Aquaman, I was super happy that it got blown out at Walmart. I think I bought 12 of them because that was the first set you could get the sand green masonry bricks, and there were 14 of them in each box. So I think they blew them out at $7-8, and I went and bought 10 of them because I was like, oh, the masonry bricks.
I mean, that's just he has its own huge, awful problem when it comes to anything Lego right now. I mean, they have like 3-4 sets on the shelves and like maybe one coming out for and it's all Batman stuff too. It's not even like Flash or any like Superman.
Yeah, I'm not generally a DC person fan. When the Lego Batman movie came out, our regular panelist Dana loved it. Bought, I think, like every single set that was part of the Lego Batman movie, and I was like, it's not a thing for me. But I was the Ninjago fanatic who went and bought every set from the Ninjago movie because I really liked Ninjago City a lot, and I liked the mechs that came out at the time too. So I bought every single Ninjago City set. So I guess it's whatever floats your boat sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't really have a sense of how the sets are selling that are related to the most recent Batman movie.
Not great.
It really wasn't for kids. I mean, I did not take my son to see that. It was, I mean, I enjoyed it all right, but it was pretty dark. Pretty brutal.
We went to see, what did we just see in the theater? We went to see Thor: Love and Thunder. And of course, we got the preview for the next DC movie. And I'm just sitting in the theater joking with my husband. And I'm like, oh, look, it's another dark DC movie. Oh, I'm so shocked. So, like, do they do anything other than dark? I think Aquaman was like the one that was kind of like goofy, light on its feet, kind of more of a Marvel zeitgeist. But the dark, we're very serious superheroes. I'm like, folks, it's comic book. Have some fun. We good versus evil, but it can't be dark all the time. It's just depressing.
Unfortunately, they hitched their wagon to Zack Snyder for far too long, and I think that's part of the problem is too dark and too much slow-mo. Everything just like I watched that 4-hour cut of Justice League, and I was like, this movie would have been a half hour shorter if it wasn't for all the slow-mo everything.
And the music, and it was everyone praised the Zack Snyder cut. I absolutely hated that.
I was so
Axel Plate is correct. Shazam was a lot of fun. That was enjoyable.
Well, I mean, technically, Suicide Squad was a lot of fun, but it was dark. Like, I mean, it was dark in this. It was Deadpool fun. Like, it's the only way I can put it.
Yeah, it was.
Deadpool is very funny, but not appropriate for children. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, well, the Suicide Squad was directed by James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So it was that sort of very tongue-in-cheek kind of Deadpool humor, and it was enjoyable, but yes, not for kids. But yeah, the DC properties are sort of all over the place, and they don't really have an overall vision the way that like Kevin Feige and his team have done for Marvel. And I think that's part of why they've struggled, is because their various movies are just really scattered in a lot of different directions, and
like the first Wonder Woman,
first
Wonder Woman was great. The second one was amazing.
It was awful. Oh my gosh!
I watched the Zack Snyder cut, and it's like you have like Superman who could do this, and you've got Wonder Woman, and then there's Batman who punches people, and he drives machines. He just got the bat plane, but like I think they actually like at least made a joke of it when they were like, "What's your power?" And he goes, "I'm rich." Just like, okay, here's the rich guy with the suit with all the gadgets, but all these other people are like gods and goddesses, or like have these amazing powers, and he just has a bat suit and he punches people.
That's always how Batman's been, though.
Yeah, and Jeff is talking about how Zack Snyder got. I know, Jeff. I know what happened to Zack Snyder. I'm not fond of everything being Snyderized, and I was not really shedding very many tears about him leaving the DC universe, because Batman is brooding, not everybody. We can't have everybody be brooding. Only Batman is the brooding one. And
like Flash is supposed to be this kind of like fun character, and well, I mean that's a whole nother story now too.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate.
What happened? I don't even know, because I really don't pay that much.
I don't really know the details, but Ezra Miller basically went off went off the deep end. Like
he's turned out to be like a super creep, kind of weirdo creep, like all kinds of just stuff I don't really want to repeat on the show, but you can Google it. Sure. It's just all sorts of creepy creep stuff.
Okay.
So
personality issues.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunate, because I am personally publisher agnostic. I have read many Marvel books. I've read many DC books. I've read Image Comics books. I like all of them. So I would be more than happy to see more good DC movies, because I have enjoyed some of them. Like you said, Wonder Woman was great. Shazam was great. I have enjoyed Peacemaker and Doom Patrol and the Suicide Squad, even though those are more on the adult-oriented end of things. Those were all enjoyable.
Okay.
So
I haven't heard anything about Doom Patrol. I should watch that, I guess.
It was technically a spin-off from Teen Titans, which was pretty decent up until the last season. I don't even think I finished last season. But I've heard it was decent, one of the better ones out there. Yeah. And it's not a CW DC show, so it's actually good.
Yeah, it's the Teen Titans show was just called Titans, and it's on HBO.
Okay,
but it's pretty okay. But Doom Patrol is actually better. It's a spinoff that's better than the thing it got spun off from. Brendan Fraser is on it, and is really very funny. He's his comedic timing and stuff is really good. It's been fun to see him doing stuff again. A Lego related question though, Axel Plate is asking, the Galaxy Explorer is a day one purchase or pre-ordered? I have pre-ordered the set myself. And
There's a-
Matthew already has one because he's doing secret Lego stuff. So he got an early copy.
We are allowed to discuss it. We just can't
Okay.
show you what we're doing with it. So they put out a call for, I think it was 4 or 5 categories to reimagine the set as Friends, Bontanical, Steampunk, and I think like Ninjago or something. So I applied in the Bontanical category. So I will be reimagining this in some kind of Bontanical. I still haven't made up my mind. I'm like kicking around like 3 or 4 different ideas. So I sent in pictures of, when I did my Jetsons Tower, I did like these, I used the cubes, and I had a hydroponic space garden, and I just sent that in. They picked me, and they sent me the set. So now I actually have to build something. I mean, I followed the instructions. That was really easy, but I have to be creative and build something. And so today I had doctor stuff, so I didn't get around to it. But summer school just ended, so tomorrow I will start building something botanical. And I can't tell you what I'm going to build until the pictures come out, but it's going to be fun.
Very
but
cool.
As a classic space guy whose big set as a kid was the Galaxy Explorer, it was fun to build. But I will say that I was slightly, I'm going to turn away this light. It's a little bit too much. I was slightly not as excited about the smooth leading edge, the snot leading edge. And I actually wanted studs up to go all the way out to the edge because that's how the original version was. And I know why they did it, because the base is thick so that there's an internal Technic base so that the landing pads can have room to fold up inside, for example. And then this fuselage part sits at an angle, so they kind of had to have some depth. So the edge of the bricks can dip below. So I understand why they made it thicker, but I actually am kind of interested with the idea of kicking around of like redoing the edge so that it studs up and instead of being tiled, which is funny because as a modular builder, I'm very much snot. I like a smooth finish on my buildings, but when it comes to classic space, there ought to be studs. That's just the way I feel about it. So.
I probably won't get it for at least 3 months after it comes. It's on very high on my list, but there's a $400 monstrosity that is day one pickup for me.
And it is worth mentioning to everybody in our chat and anyone else watching the show, when you're done watching our show in a few minutes this evening, look up on YouTube. Ant Bandit has done a review of the new castle set, and it's a really nice review. He did a great job on it. He did all the filming and everything himself. So when you watch something that Ant Bandit, he produced all of it. He did it on behalf of Beyond the Brick, but all of the filming and everything was done by him. Adam does all that work himself with all of his own equipment and cameras and everything. And he did a really superb job, and I just wanted to throw that shout out for him because, and yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Sorry, I was going to say, he sent me photos of some stuff in the instructions that will be made into videos about the deep lore behind some stuff that's in the instructions from the castle. So if you want to watch, not to plug myself here, but if you want to watch that once I get that out, my YouTube channel or Instagram or TikTok will have it.
Cool.
There's some really cool stuff if you're a castle fan.
And what's your YouTube channel?
Breaking Up Brad, and the same thing on Instagram and TikTok.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I watched all of Adam's review a little while ago while I was eating dinner. And yeah, he did a really great job on it. It was really nice. And I'm looking forward to his review of the Galaxy Explorer because he also is working on that one. So
that's the one you really want to know about.
Yeah. Well, I've had the opportunity to see it in person. So I'm I've already seen it, but I'm still very excited about it.
Nice.
I would say for myself, like the Galaxy Explorer was a mandatory. I would have bought it if they hadn't sent me one as a work through thing. But I am on the fence about the castle, and at this point, I'm a no buy just because the price point's so high, and I spend a lot of money on Lego already. So that's one where, if I watch the review and the review is compelling, I'm like, okay, I must have this in my life. Maybe I'll go out and buy it. So for me, as someone who's like kind of on the fence or even off the fence on the no side, that's a situation where review is actually more useful because I was going to buy that no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean this is the thing. We're going into the era right now where reviews are kind of king because literally all the prices have gone up. So people are like, well, I don't know if I want to get this set or not. And so they want to watch the reviews on it. It's something me and my friends talk about a lot about right now. Is like, well, I mean, look, if you think about it, we got the Office set coming out, we got the Sanctum Sanctum, we got the Castle, we got the Galaxy Explorer. There's a couple other ones too that are, I think, rumored or something. And it's like all these amazing sets that are over, couple $100 or over $100, and everyone's just like, I don't know which one I want to get because I know I can only get one. Like,
you have to choose. Can't get them all.
Yeah.
Well, and there's going to be another UCS Star Wars set probably in September, October, and there's rumors flying about what it is. I have no personal insight, but I am a total sucker for UCS Star Wars. So unless they're rehashing a set that I already have, I'm a total sucker. So I'll probably buy it if it's something new. Like I was excited about the Land Speeder, which is not selling well according to people that I talked to.
Well,
but
I mean, the rumor is that there's going to be a UCS Razor Crest.
And rumors has it that some of the figs have been shown already, and
I have not seen it. I have not seen any of that myself, but
the rumors that I saw looked awful and also counteract one of Lego's biggest claims that they made last year, which makes me a little bit upset, but I don't care. I kind of stopped collecting Star Wars altogether. So
yeah, I know that the LegoCon video that the designers were both wearing T-shirts that had a silhouette of the Razor Crest on it, kind of like a little clue. Personally, I don't know if I'm going to buy it either because I have the minifig scale one over here from last year, and I've upgraded it. Yeah, and it was a good one, and I also have done my own kind of makeover to it and fixed it up myself, and I'm pretty happy with it. So the UCS one, I'm sure, will be very large, and I don't have any of the UCS Star Wars sets sitting around because they just take up so much space. You got to have all this shelf space or table space or whatever, and I just don't have that myself. But
behind that closet door,
$25 at Target right now, new bookshelves.
Yeah, I don't have anywhere in this room to put them though. This room has shelving all the way around it, and if I want more wall space to put stuff on shelves, I'm gonna have to take down posters and pictures and things that I've got hanging in this room. So
that's the problem I'm running into isn't even shelf space. Like I have the UCS AT-AT behind that door right now, still sealed in the box, and I'm like, I just moved into a new apartment and there's a lot less space than my old one. So I'm like, yeah, I can't build that. Otherwise I'm going to be accidentally kicking it every 5 days.
So I just finished it. But over when COVID hit and I was teaching my office remote for a year, I decided that my office was way too boring. So I went to IKEA and I dropped a fair amount of money on modular shelves on both the right and the left. And so now all of the UCS sets are there except for
nice.
That, and then the Millennium Falcon's up there. And the Falcon is in such a perfect spot in this room that I'm not going to move it downstairs. But yeah, you have to have a room. And so I made my office into the Star Wars office, which is great. It gives me good vibes every time I go in there and makes working a little less annoying. But if you don't have a room where you can just line it with shelves, you got to make choices. And, even I have to make choices. So I've had to disassemble things and decide, am I going to sell it off or am I going to put it in the basement for who knows what?
So yeah. I'm trying to figure out where the generational line is between people who say at and people who say AT. Because myself and Matthew are from the generation where the Kenner toy was sold as the at, and that's how they said it on the commercials. And so everybody from our generation says that. And younger people like Brad say AT, and I'm trying to figure out where did that divide happen? where in the timeline did people start spelling it out? Like,
I don't know. I feel like I remember I don't even know at this point, honestly. I just, social media, that's what most people say. And then, you just kind of catch on to saying it. And then there's that whole weird at group too. And I honestly, at this point, I don't know. And I kind of don't care.
no, I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, and I'm not.
No, yeah, I completely agree.
I'm just saying there's a generational divide somewhere in the ether between those of us who had the toy advertised to us as the at, and people younger somewhere along the way started to call it by its individual letters and spell it out.
And don't even get started about avocado.
I don't care about the toast. But how many people say TIE fighter?
Yeah. Good one.
Because that's an acronym too. It stands for Twin Ion Engine.
It's true.
So why do people spell out AT-AT but not TIE fighter? They don't say TIE fighter. And Moto says someone from Lucasfilm told Tyler to say it that way, so it's legit that way, direct from the powers that be. But yeah, Gen X people pretty much say it that way. I don't know. It's just one of those the Star Wars culture curiosities that.
And do you call it an ST or do you call it a chicken walker?
I call it a Scout Walker.
Okay.
Because somewhere back in time, something, I don't know if it was the box from the original toy or something, it was called a Scout Walker. And so, at least among my friends and people that I hung out with as a kid, we all just called it the Scout Walker. So, I don't know. Because I know the toy, the box actually said ATST, but we all said, Scout Walker.
I think among the action figure people of my cohort, people do call it the chicken walker a lot. At least I don't know.
And Exoplate, when was it called at and when AT-AT in the movies? It was never called either in the movies. They just called them walkers or Imperial walkers.
Imperial walker.
Yep. I mean, that's literally a lot of things these days. They never actually given an official name. So, Lego dictionaries do. So,
well, I mean, the same with Slave One. It was never called that in any movie or anything.
Yep.
But it came from the Kenner box. The first thing to ever call it Slave One was the toy.
Yep.
And who knows if it was, it could have been some marketing dweeb at Kenner that named it that. I mean, we don't know.
Those marketing dweeb.
Yep. But anyway, we'll leave our viewers with those thoughts to chew on the esoterica of Star Wars, because we're coming up on 9 o'clock, and we got to land this galactic explorer. We have to land our crafts for the evening. What are you landing, Brad? Do you have anything to land?
Wait. Give me a second.
We gotta wait for Brad to get something to land as we land the show, as we bring the show back to the ground.
I'll make you proud with this. Oh shoot!
Oh no! Hey, nice.
TV if you drop it. So
there's the drop ship. I worked on prototyping that set in Billund back in 2006. So nice. So anyway, everybody have a good evening. Thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us and chatting. And as Fazoom would say, be awesome and build awesome, and be kind to your neighbors, and have a good week. And we will see you on Thursday, and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern as usual. So everybody have a great night.